Hello everyone, welcome to JCE Connect. In previous session we have discussed about the Reynolds experiment and how to identify the type of flow based on the Reynolds experiment, and also we have discussed the observations made by the Reynolds, that is for the laminar flow, for the transitional flow, as well as for the turbulent flow, how he has made the observations we have discussed. And even the definition of Reynolds number also we have discussed, that is, it is the inner ratio of inertia force to viscous force, and based on the ratio the Reynolds number we get, that is rho Vd by mu, and also based on the Reynolds number the type of flow can be identified. If the number comes out to be around say more than 4000, like this, it's a turbulent flow, and if it is in between 2000 and 4000, it is a transitional flow or the turbulent outburst. And if the number comes out to be less than 2000, and it indicates the flow is laminar, or it can be said a predictable flow or the slow mixing flow. And this is the graph for the laminar, and this is the transitional, and after that is a turbulent flow. Even the pipe flow characteristics are also we have discussed based on the Reynolds number and the significance of the Reynolds number. That is, the Reynolds number is used to identify the type of flow, whether the flow is laminar or turbulent. And even also we have discussed laws of fluid friction for a laminar flow, and also laws of fluid friction for a turbulent flow. Then let us discuss about the loss of energy in a pipes in this today's session. So when a fluid is flowing through a pipe, the fluid experiences some resistance. It experiences some resistance, due to which some of the energy of the fluid is lost. This loss of energy is classified as two types. Their energy losses are of two types. One is a major energy loss, another one is a minor energy loss. So when the fluid flows in a pipe, it experiences some resistance, as I said, to its motion. When it experiences some resistance to its motion, due to which its velocity and ultimately the head of water available is reduced. And this loss of energy is classified as two types. They are major energy loss and minor energy loss. So this major energy loss is mainly due to friction, and it is calculated by the following formula, that is Darcy-Weisbach formula and Church's formula. These are the two formula to be used to calculate the major energy loss, and usually the Darcy's formula, that is the first formula, will be used for pipe flow to calculate the friction loss in a pipe flow, and second formula will be used to calculate the friction loss in a channels. And next loss is minor energy loss. So this is due to mainly the sudden expansion. Whenever expansion to be provided, sudden expansion is provided in a pipe, and even sudden contraction also. So this one is sudden expansion, this is sudden contraction. And even bend in a pipes, like this, the bends provided in a pipes, when pipe fittings like walls and other things, and an obstruction of pipes. So even also the entrance and exits from the pipes also causes the minor energy losses. Then why the name major and why the name minor here? So as I said, the frictional loss is considered as the major loss, as its magnitude is very large as compared to the other types of losses, hence the name major loss. So minor loss here, so the minor loss is mainly due to the change in geometry and the direction of the flow. And the magnitude of losses, if we take the magnitude of these losses, they are of very less magnitude compared to the major energy loss or the frictional loss, hence the name minor energy. Then frictional loss in a pipe flow, how it takes place, the friction loss. So when a fluid is flowing through a pipe, like this, when a fluid is flowing in this direction through a pipe, let us assume the fluid is flowing through a pipe, the velocity of the liquid layer adjacent to the pipe wall is 0. So this is the velocity adjacent to the pipe wall is 0. The velocity of the liquid goes on increasing from the wall, means as you move towards the center, the velocity goes on increasing from the wall, and thus velocity gradient, and hence the shear stresses are produced in the whole liquid due to viscosity. This viscous action causes the loss of energy, which is usually known as frictional loss. So for the laminar as well as the turbulent flow, so the velocity near the wall is 0, and as you move towards the center, the velocity go on increases. So because of this velocity gradient, there exists a shear stresses between the fluid layers. So because of the shear stresses, so the energy loss we get here, that loss is called as a frictional loss. On the basis of Reynolds experiment, so the William Proud, on the basis of his experiment, that is Reynolds experiment, William Proud had gave the following laws of fluid friction for the turbulent flow as turbulent flow, that is head loss is proportional to the velocity raised to n, the power n, where n varies from 1.5 to 2 for the turbulent flow, and is also proportional to the density of the fluid, and also proportional to the area of surface in contact, and independent of pressure, then dependent on the nature of the surface in contact. So these fluid laws we have discussed previously. So let us calculate the expression for the loss of head due to friction. That is the major loss. Friction loss is the major loss in a pipe. So let us calculate this loss in a pipe. So consider a uniform horizontal pipe. So we have considered a uniform horizontal pipe having a steady flow as shown in the figure here. Let 1,1 and 2,2 are the two sections of pipe. Here we have considered 1,1 and 2,2 are the two sections of pipe. Let P1 represent the pressure intensity at section 1. Here V1 represents the velocity of fluid at section 1, and L is the length between the two sections. This is the L, length between the two section L, and D is the diameter of the pipe. This is taken as the diameter of the pipe, D, and F dash is the frictional resistance per unit wetted area per unit velocity, and HF is the loss of head due to friction. And similarly P2, V2 are the values of pressure intensity and velocity at section 2. And here the F1 is marked. This is a frictional force acting in the opposite direction of the flow. Okay, so this is the frictional resistance which is acting the opposite direction. Next, applying Bernoulli's equation between section 1,1 and 2,2. When we apply Bernoulli's equation between section 1,1 and 2,2, so the total head at section 1,1 is equal to total head at section 2,2 plus the loss of head due to friction between the 1,1 and 2,2. So when you substitute the total head, P1 by rho g plus V1 square by 2g plus Z1 at section 1, and P2 by rho g plus V2 square by 2g plus Z2 at section 2 plus HF. HF is the loss of head due to friction. But Z1 is equal to Z2 as pipe is horizontal. So since the pipe is horizontal as well as it has a uniform diameter pipe, so V1 is equal to V2 as the diameter of the pipe is same at 1,1 and 2,2. So when you substitute these two in the above equation, what we get? We get the P1 by rho g, one term is equal to P2 by rho g plus HF, or HF equal to P1 by rho g minus P2 by rho g. So let us call this equation number 1. So but HF is the head loss due to friction. So HF is the head loss due to friction, hence the intensity of pressure will be reduced in the direction of flow by frictional resistance. Means if HF, if HF this is the head loss, because of the head loss the pressure is go on decreasing along the direction of flow. So if HF is the head loss due to friction, and hence the intensity of pressure will be reduced in the direction of flow by the frictional resistance. Now the frictional resistance is given by frictional resistance per unit wetted area per unit velocity into wetted area into velocity square. So where the frictional resistance will be F dash into pi dl. Pi dl is the wetted area, that is the surface area of the pipe, that is perimeter into length, that is perimeter into length is the surface area into velocity square, that is wetted area equal to pi d into L, when the velocity equal to V equal to V1 equal to V2, then we write F dash into P into L, that is pi d is the P into L into V square, because pi d is the perimeter, that is P. Then the forces acting on the fluid between section 1,1 and 2,2 are marked, and the first force, that is pressure force at section 1,1 will be pressure intensity into area where A is the area of the pipe, and also on the section 2 the pressure force will be P2 into A. Then the frictional force from the figure F can be written. So F1 is a frictional force which can be written also shown in the figure. And resolving all the forces in the horizontal direction, we have the pressure force at section 1 minus pressure force at section 2. This is opposite to the direction of flow, minus F1 is a frictional resistance opposite to the direction of flow, is equal to 0. Let us call this equation number 5.1. And as you simplify this equation, P1 minus P2 into A, take the A area is common, so is equal to F1, which can be written as F1 into P into L into V square. Then also if P1 minus P2, if you simplify F dash into P into L into V square by A, but from equation number 1, if you take P1 minus P2 will be rho into G into HF. So equating the value of P1 minus P2, we get, so if you equate the P1 minus P2 into the above equation, what we get, so this is one term is equal to this we get, then HF can be written as F dash by rho G into P by A into L V square. Let us call this equation number 3. But in this equation, what is P by A? P by is a perimeter by area of cross section, that is weighted perimeter by area, can be written as pi d divided by pi by 4d square. We get 4 by d. Then if you substitute in the above equation, we get finally HF equal to F dash by rho G into 4L V square by d. Putting F dash by rho is equal to F by 2, where F is known as the coefficient of friction. So HF equal to 4F divided by 2G into L V square by d. Then finally, if we rearrange the term, we get 4FL V square by 2GD. The above equation is known as Darcy's Weisbach equation. This equation is commonly used for finding the loss of head due to friction in a pipes. Sometimes the above equation can also be written as HF equal to FL V square by 2GD. Then the F is known as friction factor, but in the where friction factor F is F equal to 4 times of F. Okay. Friction factor, if you are writing in terms of friction factor, then F will be 4 times of coefficient of friction. Okay. Now expression for coefficient of friction in terms of shear stresses. So here we have calculated the friction loss, that is head loss due to friction. This is the equation we use to calculate head loss due to friction, that is HF equal to FLV square by 2GD. In this, F is taken as a friction factor, and in the above equation, this is in here the F is taken as coefficient of friction, and friction factor will be 4 times of coefficient of friction. Now the expression for coefficient of friction in terms of shear stress. So whenever a fluid starts flowing, then there exist shear stresses between the fluid layers as well as between the fluid layer and the solid surface, and we need to express these friction coefficient of friction in terms of shear stresses. Let us write the equation along the direction of flow. So the equation can be written along the direction of flow, that is the pressure force at section 1 minus the pressure force at section 2. Why the minus? Because this force is acting opposite to the direction of motion of fluid, minus the frictional, that is shear force or the frictional force which is acting opposite to the direction of motion here. This one. This frictional force is because of the shear stresses. Then if you simplify this one, we get this term P1 minus P2 into where area is the common is equal to F1, where force due to shear stress. So this F1 is what? A force due to shear stress. Then as we know, shear stress tau is equal to what? Force by area. So force equal to what? Shear stress into area. Okay. So force equal to shear stress into area. So the shear stress multiplied by the surface area. So shear stress is represented tau O into pi d, that is surface area perimeter into length. Okay. Then if we simplify this one, so after substitution, if we simplify, so cancelling pi d from both the sides, then we get finally this one. Okay. Also we know that HF equal to P1 minus P2 by rho G, that is pressure difference, which can be written as 4FLV square by 2GD, because HF equal to 4FLV square by 2GD. Just to substitute here, then P1 minus P2 is equal to 4FLV square by 2GD into rho G. If we simply rearrange the terms, then equating the value of P1 minus P2 in equation, that is 10.3 and 10.4. So previous equation is 10.3, this equation as well as in this 10.4, when we equate it, then what we get here, so this is the equation for FLV square by 2GD into rho g. Then previous equation is what? For this one, this equation. When we equate these two, and after simplification, what we get? Finally, we get the shear stress in this term. And again, if we rearrange the term, we get friction, that is coefficient of friction in terms of shear stresses. That is F equal to 2 times of tau divided by rho v square. So this is expressing the coefficient of friction in terms of wall shear stresses. Wall shear stresses. So sometimes in problems, numerical problems, they may ask you to calculate. So what, how much is the wall stresses or the shear stresses acting inside the pipe? That time we may calculate by using this formula. Okay, I hope you understood this derivation, that is expressing the coefficient of friction in terms of wall shear stresses or simply shear stresses. Now, so as we know, the Darcy-Weisbach equation, which is used, this equation is used to calculate the head loss due to friction. So for FL v square by 2GD, where F is the coefficient of friction, L is the length of the pipe, V is the velocity of flow, D is the diameter of the pipe, and HF is the loss of head due to friction. And this F, small f, which represents the coefficient of friction, which is a function of Reynolds number. Means it depends upon the Reynolds number. Again, the Reynolds number is depends upon what? The type of flow, that is laminar or turbulent. So since if F is not given in a problem, the value of F is not given, then you have to calculate this value of F by using the Reynolds number. How to calculate this one? First we need to calculate the Reynolds number. After calculating Reynolds number, then the F to be calculated 16 divided by Re, for Re is less than 2. If the Reynolds number comes out to be Reynolds number, as we know, Re equal to rho v d by mu. By using this formula, we calculate Reynolds number. If Reynolds number comes out to be less than 2000, you have to use this formula, that is viscous flow. This is a laminar flow. So this formula to be used to calculate the value of F. If Reynolds number comes out to be more than 4000, then this formula to be used to calculate the value of F. Then where L is the length of the pipe, V is the mean velocity of flow, and D is the diameter of the pipe. So this is the these are the equation to be used to calculate the value of F, that is coefficient of friction. I hope you understood this one. So this is the very important equation for the examination point of view, and the major loss is a friction loss, and how to calculate friction loss by using the Darcy-Weisbach equation. This is a formula to be used to calculate the head loss due to friction in a pipe flow, and in absence of value of F to be calculated by using the Reynolds number. So Reynolds number to be calculated first, then the value of F to be calculated by using these simple formulas. Again, for the value of Reynolds number less than 2000, this formula to be used. If the value of Reynolds number is more than 4000, then the value of F to be calculated by using this formula. So again, we'll continue next session by taking some numerical problems on this Darcy-Weisbach equation. Thank you.